battle of the late breakers. And Elite Risk gets it.
Late break, Money Warriors not going to give us up without a good fight.
Oh dear me. Oh, and look at that! Peg Dorniak and Charlie going at it. Go on. Side by side to the last corner. Who's going to get the better traction? Race on the better line. It's going to be a drag race to the finishing line. Good evening everyone and welcome to the Hungary ring for the start of week 4 in season 11 here in 7th gear racing. It's time for tier 1. Ogween currently sits on top of the standings with a 9-point gap over Benster. Of course, Hungary a tricky track. 14 corners, 2 DRS zones, 35 laps tonight. No Jake in the box with me tonight, unfortunately. He has had to fill in and he will be racing, so just my dulcet tones tonight. As I said, here is the Hungary layout. 14 corners, 2 DRS zones for everyone to enjoy once the video stops delaying and skipping. Previous winners here, of course, include last season's championship winner Turner, and Benser has also won here previously. In terms of the action zones, the main one will be into turn 1, a very narrow and tight circuit this one, so expect a limited overtaking, but it can be done with a will. So turn 1 and also the second action zones is through turns 2 and 3. That is the end of the second DRS zone. So then, here we go. Let's get ready, shall we? So, taking a few minutes, but Kieran 1 is the first person out on track. I'm calling him Kieran 1 because there is 2 Kierans. And this one's got a 1 by his name, so Kieran 1 just makes absolute sense. So, as I mentioned, Ogween does currently lead the way in the standings. Let's get it up quickly whilst... there you go. 9 points is the gap. Simba is third. He is racing now. Blonde in fourth. He's not racing. He is a reserve, of course. He's done very well in his racing. And there are the top 5. Elite Risk back in tonight. He'll be looking to get a good result. Get himself back in the championship fight. So, let's ride on board with Kieran 1, shall we, in the Aston Martin. See how tight he gets to the apex. That is just about tight. He got there in the end, didn't he? Coming over to the right hand side. What gears are you going down to? Third gear. Of course, this year you don't have to go straight into fourth. You can accelerate in the low gears. Now, 8th gear or 7th gear through here? Let's have a look. 6th gear. Little left off as well. I think you'll want to improve on that. Run your car left. At the very tricky chicane here coming up. Many a lap lost there. Now, what I reckon is the hardest part of the circuit to get consistently done anyway. Through the right and left there, and then this corner right here stays in. No, he goes into 5th gear. Gets him turning back up to 6th. Another tricky corner coming up. You kind of want to turn and put the foot down, put the foot down. There we go then. Benchmark is about to be set as Kieran 1 comes round the final corner. What kind of lap time does he set? 15.5. So McLaren behind him. Is that Elite Risk on a fast one? Nope. But he is on a fast one. So let's save Elite Risk, shall we? Got a yellow flag, as I believe that is Kieran 1 moving out of the way of the other cars. Is that Williams about to cross the line? Oh, Elite Risk has invalidated. And Dan Lover, who is a very, very last-minute replacement, finds himself in P3. And Pro Swede Love finds himself in P1. Good result there. Good lap. The Alpine crossed the finish line. Punny with a 16.4. Who's next? We've got Ferraris. Krigmit goes P3. Krigmit doing well so far this year, as the second Haas and the second Kieran goes in P5. So we've got P3 and P5 for Kieran. We've got a lot of cars crossing the line at the moment. Instead of Kagordiak, because I believe, unless the Alfa Romeo is in a fast one, it is. It's Spencer, the championship chaser, looking to regain his crown, and he does a 1:15.9, which only puts him P6. I think he'll be disappointed with that. What does Kagordiak do? He goes into P11. Is that Jake about to set a lap as well? It is. He goes P9. Competitive field here so far. What about the second Aston Martin? Geordie, good showing last week on his debut. He goes into P8. So just the 5 cars, yet to set a lap. Simba's about to start one, I think. He is. Aurelian we just saw having a little spin. Rhino started. Leads in the garage, baby boy. Aurelian we know span. So let's go with Rhino, shall we? Off we go, baby boy. Let's go, baby boy. So Pro Sweden with a very good lap time so far. Ogwin can only put himself in P2, Medal P3. So a very mixed up grid so far. McDermott in P7. Mixed up grid so far. No Turner again. I think his championship is pretty much, it's over, because obviously this is only round 4, of course. But when you haven't scored in the first 3 rounds, it can be pretty hard to claw it back. Especially when you've got Ogwin in the form he's in, as Baby Boy does indeed go P8. I believe it's Rhino next. The Rhino just navigating the final few corners. Turn 14 here. The windy right-hand corner. Feels like it goes on forever at some points. It's a bit of a slow lap. He does a 1:18.1. So he obviously made a mistake somewhere. As Aurelian does a 1. He's done a 1:37.8. So everyone, bar Elite Risk, has now set a lap. If my brain remembers correctly, I believe we had a kind of a wet race last time we were here. And I mean, Elite Risk gambled on the kind of intermediate times and didn't quite work out. Oh, Simba's gone wide. Very easy place to invalidate. Expect to see a few penalties tonight, as it's very easy to invalidate laps around here, and that will obviously extend into the race. Oh, wrong button. There we go. So it looks like Kieran's out on his second run. He's just about to start his second lap. Very keen. With just under 10 minutes to go. Oh, Zach, he was very wide there, but he got away with that one, didn't he? So it will be interesting to see how the guys do tonight. Obviously, it is quite tricky to overtake around here, but if you get a good drive at that final corner, you can find yourself with a good run. But Zach was coming in. So let's focus on Kieran, because we know Kieran is on a fast lap. He is currently 2 tenths up, which would put him in P2 right now. Just about keeps it in the white lines as well. Very tricky, these corners. Another corner there, just there. Purple sector 2 then for Kieran. Is he on course to take provisional pole from Pro Sweedler? There we go, around the turn 14. Keeps in the white lines, and he does a 1:15.200 and puts himself on provisional pole. A great lap there from Kieran 1. What about Geordie then? Is he on a fast one, or is he about to start? He's about to start. Well, how about Kieran 2? He is just starting a lap. So it looks like people are just starting to start their kind of second flying lap. Elite Risk has invalidated again. Well, that's not good for Elite Risk, is it? He's burning through those tyres. I really looked about is another lap. Okay, Gorniak up. He's just up a couple of tenths. He is. Oh, well, half a second now. Look at that. That will still only put him in P12. But an improvement is an improvement at the end of the day. Mr. Consistent back in the day. Around the final corner with the best view of all time. He crosses the line and he goes P13. He didn't even get P12 at the end. But yeah. Right, so who's next across the line? And Aston Martin. Kieran's done. The other Aston Martin is there. Mr. Baby Boy is on his out lap. That is a Ferrari. Is that Krigmet by chance? No, it is Geordie, but he has invalidated the Haas. No press readers in the pits, so it will be Kieran 2. He is down on his lap. I believe he is on an out lap, so he won't be doing that. Is that Benster coming around the final corner? It is. How's he looking? He goes P4, 15.4. A decent lap from Benster puts him in amongst the pigeons. What about Ogwin? Ogwin's invalidated, so he won't be improving in this particular lap, as he saved enough tyres and fuel for a second run. Let's have a ride on board, see how much he attacks. This should be good to watch. We know Ogwin's got a lot of pace. Currently, as I said, currently leading the standings. His current form this year is first, third, and then first. Never been off the podium this year. In fact, he's on a run of 4 consecutive podiums. And Benster, his main rival, has finished second, first, and third. With Elite Risk third and second. And interestingly enough, Simba, Krigmet, and Medal are the only other drivers to have scored a point in each round so far. And we are, of course, only in round 4 now. So a lot of drivers with inconsistent starts. Obviously, Elite Risk missing last week, but he'll want another podium to continue another podium. There you go. Purple sector 2 for Ogwin. Currently down in P4. Look at that. Dermot goes P3. Great lap from him. Did that look a bit slow? I think that looked a bit slow. To my eye anyway. It might not have been. May still well be good enough to put him on provisional pole. He does cross the line. And no. 15.226. So only P2. Still front row of the grid. Nothing to be sniffed at, of course. But I think he would have wanted more as Krigmet comes around the final corner. And he improves and goes P7. Krigmet, very much a driver to look out for in the future. He is improving. He was very, very fast in Tier 2. But didn't have the consistency to stay on the road. And now he is I'm going to curse it, but he's doing very well so far, isn't he? I think Jake improved on his last lap. What about Kieran too? He won't be improving. Don't think anyone is on a real fast lap apart from possibly Zach and Jake. Sim is invalidated, so he won't be there. So let's stay with Zach, shall we? Right then, how can we navigate these final 2 hairpins? Grid looking pretty mixed as it stands. And Zach decides to come into the pits, so let's stay with Jake. But Jake is also invalidated, so... And Sim is invalidated, so... looks like Paneet is possibly the only person to be on a decent lap. Let's ride on board with the Alpine driver, shall we? He navigates this... Well, it's supposed to be Monaco without walls, isn't it? But it's certainly got a lot of walls. It is almost like a street track. Looking decent so far. Paneet stays in 6th gear there. We saw a couple of drivers go down to 5th, didn't we, just to get that turn in. He's currently up by a couple of attempts. So it should see him move up the order, possibly into the top 10. So round the final corner, and he does a 1:15.7. So yes, he does take P10 off Jake, but that could be it for Paneet because we've just got under 3 minutes. So if he's want to do another lap, he's got to get back fast, hasn't he? So Kieran once again leading the way. He will be the first driver to complete his 3rd and final run. All the drivers using up all their soft tyre allocation. Of course, the track has now bedded itself in. There's more grip. And look at that, a flurry of cars coming out of the pits, all to start their final lap. I think Paneet's done. I think he's left it too late. But right, here comes Kieran then. Kieran won. What kind of lap time can he set? Can he go faster? Can he maybe get into the 14s? Let's see, shall we? Oh, just about stays in the white line. He's down by a 10th though, isn't he? So he's got work to do if he wants to improve his time. And he has given up. He's let the Red Bull through. He has given up. I think he's probably possibly saving that set of tyres. So it looks like Zach is the second person to start a flying lap. Only just recently went up to P8. Let's see what kind of lap time he can put in. And it's going to be a confusing time seeing all those other drivers, because they're all very bunched up here. Hopefully they don't get in each other's wake. Otherwise we'll be seeing a few clips of people blocking each other. But Zach is okay for now. He should be... that's his name, isn't it? Zach should be okay. Yep, there you go. All the cars are cleared, so he's good. Bit too much riding the bumps, my like, in there. The car will almost bottom out. The tyres can't reach the floor. Depending, of course, how low he does with his car. And look at that, he's up by almost 3 tenths, which would put him in the top 4. McDermott's done for the day. He's done. He won't be sitting another lap. Are we in for a good lap from Zach here? Currently down in P9. Elite Risk is P6 now. Right, Zach round the final corner. What does he do? A 1:15.4 puts himself up into P6. Right, is that a Ferrari coming around the final corner? Who is it? Where's the Ferrari? Is it Craig Mitt? No, it's, was that Benster maybe? Yeah, it is Benster. Oh, 1:15.1. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is the target to beat. The man who probably would beat it if anyone can will be Ogwin. Here he comes. Round the final corner. What does he do? It does a one. There you go. 1:14.8. I asked if anyone could do a 14 lap, and Ogwin delivered. Wow, what a lap. So Elite Risk, I think, is realistically the only other man to possibly challenge, but he is down. So no, Elite Risk will not be challenging. Craig Mitt improves slightly, but stays P9. And, Punit. I think he got out of the pits, but he's missing a nose. So I think he got a bit too eager possibly on his outlap. So there you go. The top two on the grid, top two in the championship. It's neck and neck with these two. And now it all come down to strategy in the race. Hopefully, look at Elite Risk down there. He will be disappointed with that in P7. 6/10 off pole. We know he's better than that. Pro Swedler, shout out to him. A great lap to see him in P4. Hopefully, he can stay there. And Kieran won. Another great quality from him. McDermott up there in P5. Got a very good mixed up grid here. Look at Simba down in P15. Watch him come through the field. Rhino will start last. Alright, so now we just wait for the game to realise qualifying's over before we move on. There we go. Right then. Once it loads. Is it going to load? There we go. So, here is your grid for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Ogwin is on pole. Joining me on the front row will, of course, be Benson. We've got Kieran 1 and Pro Swedler on the second row of the grid, with McDermott and Zach in P5 and P6. Elite Risk P7, he'll be disappointed with that. Medal will be joining him on the fourth row. Fifth row of the grid is Krigmit and Baby Boy in the Aston Martin. And then the bottom four, we've got Punit, Kieran 2, Aurelian, I haven't seen much of him today, Jake, Simba, Jordi, Kegorniak, Dan Lover, and Rhino. So I will just tap into the chat and we'll see what time Jake says we're going. Oh, a wet race. Oh, doolally. Oh, doolally indeed. We go at 20:58, so I will do a quick here of the standings, and then I shall leave you be for a couple of minutes. Okay, it's 20:58, which means it will be lights out very quickly. No warning on this year's game. Wonder how wet it's going to be. It looks like puddles, so it could be wet tyres to start. Why have they not gone yet? Here we go then. We got 3, we got 4, we have 5 red lights, and it's away we go. Right, race down to the final corner. Who's got the best traction? It looks like Ogween keeps the lead. Kieran's overtaken Benster. How are we going to be into turn 1? Are we going to get any late breakers? Oh, look at that. I think that's Aurelian avoiding collisions. I think everyone is pretty much safely through the first final corner. Aurelian, of course, taking avoided action. Oh, Benster's gone down. Has Benster had a spin? He has. Oh, he's been hit. There's a lot of hit. There's a lot of spinners. There's a ballerina going on here at the moment. Tippy toe around the corners. The car's on inters at the moment. But Krigmit, the both Ferraris at the back of the grid as well now. Wow. Okay then, so Ogween did get away well. He has kept his lead. Kieran White up into P2. Pro Swedler. Look at that elite risk up to P4 already. A lot of these drivers obviously taking advantage of the fact that Benson is down there in P9. And look at that, Simba up to P8 already. I said watch out for him, didn't I? I didn't expect it to happen this quick. And if it stays dry, apparently the quickest will be a one-stop. So I expect people to come in any time between kind of lap 16 and 19, depending on if they want the overcut or undercut. There we go, the cars filtering round. And then the final 2 Ferraris. Is anyone going to pit? The Ferraris look like they've been struggling a bit. But both Ferraris in the pits as well. Oh dear, it's not a great start to the race, is it, for the Ferrari boys after having a... Well, it was a... Geordie got a bit of a... Not a great quali, but... yeah, Krigmit, his qualifying's been ruined. That's a nose change as well for Geordie, so even longer. I know it's a nose change to Krigmit as well. The cars are going to be more than halfway around the track before Krigmit gets out, and I think those two definitely need a safety car. So let's have a quick, yep, all on intermediate tyres. Oh, was that Kieran going across the chicane there? Oh, wow. A bit unorthodox, but I guess we'll allow it. And look at that, Benson's up into P7 now. He's got past Simba and McDermott. I wonder if McDermott made a mistake and Benson was able to pounce as Simba couldn't get by. But either way, Benson needs to find his way up the field if he wants to take the fight to Ogween, who has a 2.5 lead already. End of lap 2. No DRS, of course, because it is wet, which will make this race absolutely fun. Oh, and what's happened here? Jake and Aurelian having a ding-dong round the final corner. So drivers still looking at finding their feet, and we've got one-on-one here, and we've got, there we go, we've actually got a good view to look at the battle into turn 1. Who's going to break the latest? It looks like they're both breaking at the same time, actually. And Aurelian wins out on this occasion, but already finds himself 2 seconds behind Dan Lover. Right, let's have a quick look. So, Ogween we know is up front. Kieran is just about holding off Pro Swedler. Elite Risk has fallen a second off. I wonder if the track... I wonder how many... Obviously, we don't know what the weather's going to be like, or if it's going to dry up or not, but... if it does dry up, you have to wonder how many of these drivers will have risked putting a setup. Oh, and here we go. Is that a pun eat? He's had a spin. He's not good for pun eat. He's had a bit of a nightmare so far, isn't he? And Simba now finds himself down in P10. Great start, and now he's fallen down the field again. I don't think the wet conditions are favoured by anyone, even with the extra grip you get this year. And here we go, look. Kieran 1 and Broswede almost battling into the final corner. And because of that, Elite Risk has managed to close right up, although he does get a bit of a wiggle there, doesn't he? And Medal close behind. In fact, look at that. You know, if you ignore Ogween for a second, as look at that, Kieran is defending from Broswede. Broswede looking for that P2. The Haas driver doing very well so far tonight. With his partner Kieran 2 currently outside the points. Let's see how close he gets. I think the rain's still going. It just didn't look that heavy. Like the track looks wet, but let's see how long it stays wet for. See all the cars closing up. As I was saying before, I interrupted myself. Look at Kate going at P9. He's gone up quite a lot. Red Bull's both in the pits after shaky quality for Kate Gorniak. But yeah, the top from P2 down to P7, they're all within a second of each other, which in the dry would be ideal because they'd have DRS. But we are in the wet, so they have to rely on having the better grip, the better turn, the better exits out of corners. Let's see how close Broswede look like how close he gets to the back of Kieran 1. A little bit of a wiggle there. Using the battery all the way down the straight. Now, will Broswede, will he have a dive? He goes to the outside line. But he thinks against it this time. And look at Elite Risk. What's he doing? Did he break a little bit late, or was he just being over-ambitious? Either way, he's taken P3. Oh, hello. Rhino, safety car. We've got our first safety car. Great news for the Ferraris. And Rhino's miserable race comes to an end. So, first safety car of the day. As I said, great for the Ferraris. They can catch right back up now. And I'd like to see an onboard view of what Elite Risk did there. Because that looked like a bit of a late move. But obviously, possibly not, because it is Elite Risk. He is an elite driver, of course. But that move just came in time. Broswede now finds himself in P4, where he started. Elite Risk onto the podium. Let's check down the order. Benster finds himself. What's happened there? What's Mr. Baby Doy doing? But either way, Benster finds himself up in P6 now. Still 5 places away from where he wants to be. But in these kind of conditions, you kind of take what you get. So I don't think Benson will be too unhappy. And okay, Gorniak has been dispossessed by Simba. Simba having a very up and down race so far, isn't he? Oh, hello. What's going on here? Elite Risk into the pits. Oh, hello. Hello. Is this fresh interest to the end? It's going to be very bold. And hard tyres. Hello. Has the rain stopped? Is this an absolute worldie from Elite Risk? Because this will be hard tyres to the end. It's going to be a very brave move because obviously those tyres will not warm up. And Elite Risk here, if the track is drying up, because I believe the rain has stopped. So this is an absolute play and a half from Elite Risk. It looks like the gamble is going to pay off. Because he will catch the safety car. It's going to be a bit tricky this first lap as he tries to warm these higher tyres up. But he will find himself now in a net P1. What an absolute move from Elite Risk. And there you go, Benson as well joined him. Benson, Babyboy and Kieran all went for the medium tyres. Jake went for the hards along with Elite Risk. Geordie on for the mediums. Punny onto the softs. Craig went onto the hards. So, yep. It's that time. And Ogween is going to be... I think he's... Well, he won't be seething, but he has got a lot of traffic to get through. Because now they're all catching up. Will Ogween pit? Or will he stay out? I'm interested to see if Elite Risk can get to the end. But, well, I thought it was staying out. Oh, he's staying out! I'll tell you what, I was not expecting that. I think Ogween is going to be the only one staying out here. Indeed he is, which means Ogween is basically a net P20. That is absolutely crazy, because Elite Risk is now going to be in P2. And he will now have a pit stop lead over Ogween. And look at that, Benster, who was down in P7, I said he was to be 6 places up. He now finds himself in P3 and a pit stop ahead of Ogween. Wow. Yeah, sorry everyone, I just, there were some Pringles to my left, and I was like, oh, Pringle, have a Pringle. They have moved away now. Has he done a Hamilton? Well, I mean, it looks like it, doesn't he? But I think Ogween's saving grace here is that Spencer will not get to the end on those mediums. So if Ogween does pit and go onto the hard tyres, it means that he probably will be able to go to the end, and Benson will pit again. This has certainly flipped the race on its head. Elite Risk will take the lead. How pivotal was that move, though? From Elite Risk, then, a lap or two ago when he went up the inside of Pro Sweden. Look at that. Kieran and Pro Sweden now sit there in P6 and P7. Baby Boy and Kieran 2 are now ahead of them from P2 to P3 to P6 to P7. Jake, look at that. P8 for Jake. He'll be absolutely loving that. And Medal is down to P8. Simba still finds himself in around P11. But safety car will be out one more lap as the Ferraris look to catch up to the back of the pack. And the good thing for Krigman is that by the time he does catch up, his tyres will be nice and warm. Or at least warmer than everyone else's. And Ogween has stayed out again. And unless it's going to start raining again, I don't know. But I can't think for one reason why Ogween has stayed out. Maybe the track isn't completely dry yet? I don't know. But I mean, if everyone's on the dry tyres, then surely Ogween has done something here. And Geordie decides to pit again. He's onto the mediums this time. So hopefully this will be the last lap behind the safety car. And we can get racing again. But this is crazy. Wow, okay. So, I guess the next question is, how long will it take Elite Risk to overtake Ogween? Because Ogween, I mean, if he is not going to be very happy. This track still looks a bit damp, doesn't it? But I think we are fully dry conditions now. No, so, right, in the chat then. How many corners will it take Elite Risk to overtake Ogween? Safety car's in. And I feel, I usually go on the lead here. But I'm going to be Elite Risk because I'm intrigued to see at what point he overtakes Ogween. Or will Ogween just pit and just create chaos? Or will he do a lap? He's staying out. He's staying out. Oh my days. Right. Here we go then. Elite Risk has got to be careful not to overtake before the line. He's going to be alright. Now, here we go then. The race down to the first corner. Elite Risk is closing, but Ogween's got the straight line speed. The closing speed of Elite Risk. So look at that. Ogween stays ahead. So the inter tyre's not completely gone just yet then. We've got Medal. Looks like he's had a bit of an incident. There we go. So we're already into turn 2 and 3 here. Ogween still in the lead somehow. Benson will be the fastest of these drivers on those medium tyres. Kieran 1 has displaced Kieran 2. And I tell you what, I'm impressed by Ogween here. How he's still ahead, I don't know. I said, this is... I mean, I said maybe he knows something. Oh, there we go. This is it now. I think the track is now fully dry. I think Ogween is now a sitting duck. The Elite Risk has got to be careful not to lose any kind of wing. And there you go, up the inside. And Ogween does have to break it a little bit early, but maybe Elite Risk just broke too late there, and he's gonna get hounded by Benster here, and Ogween into the pits here. Finally, there we go. Right then, the race is on. This will be some comeback drive from Ogween if he can get back on the podium. Right, Elite Risk then takes the lead off the Grand Prix. Benster in P2. We've got, look at that, the Aston Martin's in P3 and P4. Baby Boy currently ahead of his teammate Kieran 1 and trying to race Benster. The Haas is now riding P5 and I was about to say P5 and P6, but Pro Sweeler has just been overtaken by Jake. Jake on the harder tyres as well, looking to go to the end like his teammate. Oh, and Jake gets all out of sorts there, doesn't he? And down to P8, overtaken by McDermott as well. And Mr. Dan Lover finding himself bit of an incident possibly, but Zach and Medal hounding him. So the good thing for Ogween, I guess, is that he's not too far behind, to be fair. He's only 4 seconds off of Aurelian. He's gone for the mediums as well. Ooh, can the mediums do 25 laps? I am not too sure, you know. I am honestly not too sure. But I mean, Ogween held out for more than we thought he would, didn't we, on those inters? So maybe he can do 25 laps. I mean, they're going to be absolutely screaming at him towards the end. But here we go then. End of lap 10. Elite Risk is your leader. Followed very closely by Benster. Benster does sit the fast lap of the race. He's going to come up. He's going to... Elite Risk defends the inside line. Benster go around the outside. Will he use a switchback? No, because Elite Risk covers it off very nicely. And Elite Risk keeps the lead of the race for now. And the question is, how soon will the track come to Elite Risk? When will those tyres of Benson's go off? Not for a while yet, though, because they've only been on 5 laps. And yes, the Martins are still 3rd and 4th. I'm surprised that Kieran 1 hasn't, well, I'll say team orders, but obviously he's on the hard tyres as Baby Boy gets very close to the back of Benson there. All still very close and snuggled together. Jake struggling again on those hard tyres, like most of those guys, struggling to get them properly warmed up. And Medal, the first person to be outside the DRS zone. He is, I think he's getting closed down by Dan Lover, isn't he? And Dan Lover looks like he's under pressure from Zach and Geordie. The two Ferraris who were 17th and 18th now find themselves P13 and 14. So, long way to go yet. Those points are certainly possible for the Ferrari team. Ogween has already found himself. Oh, and there you go. Benster takes the lead. I wasn't watching, was I? Elite Risk now finds himself in P2. And Benster gets a double bubble DRS. Elite Risk now has to try and stay within that second. As Ogween does indeed set the fastest up at 1:19.3. Let's compare that. Oh my goodness me, he's 2 seconds a lap faster. Holy moly. At that pace, I don't think he's going to look after his tyres too much. And I think team orders here. Oh, and Dan Lover's gone. It's another safety car. Oh, and the hard work for Ogween is over. We've got a second safety car. And Ogween will be jumping for joy. Now, does he put another set of mediums on? It'll be interesting to see if anyone does pit here. Just to get rid of those tyres. He is not a bot. Leave him alone. Right. So, intriguing. Let's see if we get any kind of alternate strategies here. I mean, you'd be kind of suicidal to kind of go in the pits now if you're one of the leaders. But anyone with any bit of damage or anyone want to try a little bit of anything different? But no, everyone's staying out. It has only been a couple of laps since the safety car as Punny does decide to go in. Possibly to get rid of those soft tyres. Aurelian goes in as well. Is he going to go into hard tyres? Or is he going to go into fresh set of mediums? One can only wait and see. And Ogween, of course, will now inherit those two positions and finds himself now P15. I mean, without that safety car, it was going to be quite the mission for Ogween to get on the podium. Now, I mean, who would bet against him? The kind of speed he's showing at the moment. Let's quick jump. So let's do a quick rundown of the order then, shall we, as we find ourselves behind the safety car. So, Benster is in the lead of the Grand Prix. I said earlier, when he was in P7, he was 6 places lower than he wanted to be. He now finds himself exactly where he wants to be, and I think he would very much love it if Ogween stayed where he was. Elite Risk is in P2. Then we've got the Aston Martins in P3 and P4, followed by the Aston Martins of Pro Sweedler and Kieran 2. McDermott the first, Red Bull in P7 with Simba still down there in P8 with a very up and down race. Jake finds himself in P9 with Medal currently sitting in the last points paying position. Zat is P11, the sole Alpha Tower remaining. Geordie in P12, his teammate Cricket has just pit for a new set of mediums. Kagorniak is in P13. Ogween now finds himself in P14 with Punit, Aurelian and then Krigmick bringing up the rear. Oh, almost missed that. Reading too much chat. So, safety car is in. When will bets to go? There you go. He's gone. He's gone. Will he catch Elite Risk napping? He will not. But he is on the softer tyre. So he could well build himself a lead here. While it takes Elite Risk a little while to get those tyres up to speed, but how are we looking? Looks like we're okay so far. Ogween has already got himself up to P13 then. Let's ride on board for a lap with Ogween, see if he can make up any more positions. Will we take it easy? Will we go for a dive? As it looks like McDermott's lost a couple of places. No, I think he went up and went down again, so jumping and changing. Gap at the front, 7/10. Let's while he's doing that. Right, how much battery. So Benson isn't actually burning that much, but I have to be honest, I thought Benson might burn a little battery to try and get out of the DRS window, but he may not even need it because he's still got this lap and one more, of course. He's already at 9/10, so by the end of the next lap, he may well be. Yeah, oh, look at that, Ogwin up into P12. He does get Geordie before the end of the lap. Just got to watch out for that switchback. There you go. One place closer to the points then for Ogwin he goes. And there you go, look, the gap is already 1.2 seconds. Benson is using a bit of that battery now to try and get away. And Ogwin's got a penalty. Is it a 3 second? It is. So, another obstacle for Ogwin to come over. Could be seeing a new winner today. Elite Risk, of course, has yet to win a race this season. But, you know, P3 in Austria, P2 in Bahrain. And, of course, missing Mexico last week. And just look at those hard tyres. It's so much harder to get Ogwin now into the points. He's got past Zach and Jake. That is incredible. Yeah, we get the nice helicopter cam. Now, will he make a move on medal? He's certainly getting very close, isn't he? Getting ever closer to that podium. And look at that, Spencer's pulled out 2.5 seconds. No DRS just yet, but there you go. He doesn't need it. He is so much, a lot better traction coming out the corner there, especially against the hard runners. And there we go. Look at that. The Haas of Kieran 2 losing a couple of positions then. He's lost out to McDermott and Simba. I think this is where Ogwin may find it a little bit more difficult to get past these cars now. He will, of course, cruise up to them. But catching is one thing, passing is another, as one legend once said. But now, DRS is enabled. The question I asked earlier, of course, is how long will these medium tyres last? It's really going to be a mission to see if they go to the end. Elite Risk he's lost 3 seconds to Benson out. But I think Elite Risk is probably playing the long game, waiting for Benson's tyres to go off and then just reeling back in when they do. He's in no rush as they start lap 18. Ogwin for 19.0, and I said it would take longer, but he's already passed Simba. Shows what I know. As Pro Speedler has now had a little battle with Kieran 1. They're back at it. No longer for P2 and P3, but now P4 and P5. Oh, Kieran getting a little bit out of shape, and Presley's going to go try around the outside of turn 4. But nothing happened this lap. Let's go back to Ogwin as he's got past McDermott. Jesus Christ. Right. He's staying on board with Ogwin because he is obviously making moves. His tyres are a little bit fresher than the guys in front, of course. He will need to look after them if he wants to get to the end. The gap at the front, still 3 seconds in, so Benson looks like he's cooled off a bit. I haven't said that, he just pulled out another tenth or two. Right. Let's watch this line from Ogwin. Watch how quicker he gets on the throttle. He's got Pro Speedler and Kieran both with DRS. When he make a move, when he make a dive, he's got to be careful these two don't trip each other. I mean, it would be ideal for him if those two tripped over each other, wouldn't he? But there you go, look. He's got the better exit. Oh, and they're in the wall! Oh! And, I'm not going to say that was going to happen, But it's kind of been leading to that, hasn't it? Those two being close on track, and they are now victims of the wall. So it does promote Ogween up into P4. Now this is where we potentially see some pit stops. This is going to be one of those, you do one thing, I do the opposite. And I am looking forward to the chat. Let's just see what happens. The tier 1 chat, I imagine it's going to go off. Yep. Okay, third safety car in the space of 19 laps as Punit seems to have somehow collided with... And Punit's retired on track. Amazing. Oh, so there you go. Bents are in the pit. They're all pitting. They're all pitting. Krigmet stays out. But Softs! 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 I was not expecting that. I was definitely not expecting that. But how much will the order be shaken up by the pits? Because obviously everyone's going to be potentially held. But I think we're okay. Doesn't look like many people have lost out, but Bennett's on the softs. I was not expecting softs. So, everyone on the mediums now, apart from Benster and Baby Boy. Those softs surely can't go 15 laps. Vaughn, you're a local expert. How many laps can those soft tyres go? So, we cross the line and we start lap 21 of 35. It's been an interesting race so far. We had rain, of course, to start. And now we've got our third safety car. We've got everyone on fresh tyres. Krigmet, the only one deciding to stay out. He will lead a couple of laps. So there you go, in the chat. Vaughan and Winnix don't agree with them lasting 15. I personally don't think they will. Maybe Benster's banking on another safety car. Maybe he's banking on getting past Krigmet and pulling away, getting a gap, and then pitting again for another set of softs. But he can't have many fresh ones left because he did 3 runs in quali. So surely he can't have that many soft tyres left. This has got to be his last kind of fresh set of softs. So safety car should be in this lap. Right, there you go, safety car is in. So Krigmet is your de facto leader. And here's the safety car. How soon will Krigmet go? And how long can he last onto the lead? There we go. Ferrari versus Ferrari engine. Spencer looking like he's got a decent amount of straight line speeders. Look at that. There's that baby boy in the background. Look at the leak risk. Oh, he's got to be careful. He's on the soft tyre, so he's going to have a bit more grip to start with. And I was worried he might take the elite risk out for a second there. But Benson, there you go. Then Benson is back in the lead of the Grand Prix. Now the next question is, how quick can Elite Risk dispose of Krigmet? Can he dispose of Krigmet? They're on the same tyre. Elite Risk, of course, 6-lap fresher tyres. Ogween. Oh, there you go. The engine sound is back. Predictions that he'll still win with the 3 seconds in the chat. I mean, he's definitely going to the end, I can tell you that much. And with Benster and Baby Boy likely having to pit again, it's very, you know, I mean, if I was Ogween, I'd be very optimistic of the podium right now. But Krigmet is, look at that, he's holding this field up. Let's ride on board with Elite Risk. He's getting that slipstream. Krigmet's done his move. He decides to go for the racing line, but Elite Risk says, thank you very much. I'll just go down the inside. And there you go, Elite Risk up into P2. So now you would have to say Elite Risk is probably the favourite for the race win. But again, it'll all depend on how far Benson can take those softs. I feel like I'm a bit of a broken record at the moment, but that is all. And then what has happened there? Baby Boy's gone straight into the wall. We kind of saw it live, and we've got another safety car. Is this tier 3 or tier 1? Fourth safety car of the evening then. So I mean, wow. Okay, so I mean, if anything, this really does help Benster, because this is now going to be another 3 laps of just taking it easy on those tyres. So this will be great news for Benster. This is probably news to Benster as he is at the moment. As Ogween now in P4 after Baby Boy, I think there was contact with Krigmet possibly. And he was into the ball very quickly. Oh, dear me. So, yeah. Mr. Fusion Gamer kind of thinking it's possible for the softs, but at 24 then. I mean, if everyone bunched up, the safety car may even come in this lap. But we'll probably get another lap at least. This is the full safety car fusion, yes. It's crazy. Because Rhino went out and caused a safety car. Then Dan went out and caused a safety car. Then Pro Sweden and Kieran drove themselves into the wall. Safety car. Punny retired on track. And then Baby Boy into the wall. Safety car comes out. So, yeah, safety car is out another lap then. each lap we do behind this does, of course, save Benson's tyres. So just the 10 laps remaining then. So is that a Ferrari in the pits, or is he just... No, he just slowed down a bit. Do you know what? To be fair, I'm surprised, like, the top, these bottom guys here, this is where you would go on the softs. Because I think 10 laps is definitely doable. Although Hungary is a bit of a tyre muncher, isn't it? Well. So, at the start, I think it's probably worth looking at Ogween, see how quick he gets past Krigmit. I know I usually go to the leader, but it's twice today I'm potentially not going to be looking at the leader. I think Benson's sitting in his car saying, one more lap, one more lap, one more lap. Ogween Rivet absolutely making sure his engine is red hot for the start. And there you go, safety car is indeed in this lap. Please no one hit each other. Just be nice. Right. Let's stay with Ogween then. Will he make a dive on Krigmit into the first corner? We've seen he's had quite a lot of straight line speed so far. When will better to pull the trigger. There you go, he's gone, he's gone. Oh, and Ogween pretty much pushing Krigmit round the final corner there. We've crossed the line, so it's all fair game now. Krigmit will indeed be on the inside of Krigmit going to turn one, and he breaks later, and he's onto the podium. Just the 3 seconds then he needs. So we've now got the usual top three in the top three. But this time the order is Benson, Elite, and then Ogween. Everyone else seems to be sorting themselves out. Jake and Kagorniak having a ding-dong. And Jake, is he going to have a move on Zach here? He's gone from P10 to P9, but he thinks about moving on Zach for the moment. Everyone looks like they've got away safely this time. We do have time for one more safety car, of course, if that is what people want. And look at that. Krigmit is getting absolutely hounded here. Oh, and there's been the contact with McDermott in the Red Bull. And his tyres have pretty much fallen off. Look like they've fallen off the cliff. I mean, if his mediums can't last 12 laps, what odds do these softs have that Benson's got on? But, I mean, I guess the good thing is that Krigmit's so slow on these tyres that he's creating a gap for the top three. And Ogween now, this is where Ogween, well, I mean, this is great news for Ogween because it means his podium is pretty much guaranteed now. The question is, though, can he get past Elite Risk? Can he get past Benster? Can he get 3 seconds? And here we go again then. Pro Swede causing this traffic jam. Krigmit's tyres double the age everyone else's. No DRS just yet, of course. Got to be patient. Krigmit in a good position so far. I think this is where Krigmit will be dying for another safety car. And there you go, look. McDermott's not even going to wait for the final straight. They're going to go side by side into turn 11. And Krigmit fighting the good fight here. McDermott's got to be careful, otherwise he's going to let Simba through, and that is exactly what he's done. But McDermott is not going to be giving up that position anytime soon. But is anyone going to get boxed in here? Krigmit currently holding that P4. He's 5 seconds behind. And look at the Mercedes go. Look at the straight line speed Simba had. And Simba finds himself up into P4, but not quite, because McDermott's coming back at him now as well. The Red Bull going around the outside now of turn 3. They're banging wheels. They're banging side pods. They've got to be careful, because we've seen what these game mechanics are like when you block wheels. But Krigmit down into P6 and Simba up into P4. McDermott P5. A race higher for Simba, finally up into P4. We know he's got the pace to be there, but he hasn't quite shown it today. And the gap is now 5.5 seconds to the top 3. And Krigmit is falling like a lead balloon here. It'll be a massive credit to him if he can stay in the points. It's going to be a tough ask, especially with DRS now enabled. These are the two to watch, however. With McDermott and Simba will probably be DRSing each other now. They need to work together if they want to have any chance of catching the top 3. And as I'll say that, McDermott gets so wide, he gets a wheel on the grass. He's able to get DRS to kind of save himself a little bit there. And Krigmit now under attack from Medal, and Medal goes up the inside, and now Krigmit down into P8. Zach got him as well, and now it's Jake's turn. Oh! Is this safety car number 5? Is it safety car number 5? It's safety car number 5! He was absolutely murdered by Jake. Oh my days. Wow. Wowsy wow wow. Okay then. Now, I don't think there's enough time for Benson to come in, you know. This is going to be a bit of chicken here. And, oh dear, Jake, what are you doing? That was, wow. That was, not going to lie, that is, of course, very unorthodox from Jake, but he does have that 5-second penalty now. So if I was Jake, I'd be cheeky and pit and get rid of the although he'll get a penalty afterwards anyway, won't he? But if I was Jake, I'd be pitting, getting rid of the 5 seconds there, and then putting some softs on. In fact, if I was anyone in this bottom 4, this bottom 5 here, I'd be in the pits and getting softs on. But everyone looks like they're staying in. Jake is coming in. Is he listening to the stream? But yeah, oh, there you go. Jake's in, Kagorniak's in, and there you go. So three of the guys have taken me up on my advice. Not that my advice is any good, because I'm a tier 7 driver. Jake does indeed serve the 5 seconds, which will enable Kagorniak and Jordy to go past him. And Jake now finds himself P12 in a field of 12. A new nose for Jake as well, so he was pitting no matter what. Alright, so another reprieve for Benster. We saw him about 8 tenths ahead of Elite Risk, so his soft tyres are just about holding on. So then, for everyone watching, who is your favourite to win this race? Because now we've got Simba behind Ogween. He has the potential to stay in the 3 seconds that Ogween has. So Ogween could potentially lose a podium, but it depends how much Simba and McDermott fight, of course. Elite Risk will be hoping that Benster's tyres fall off a cliff anytime soon. He will be busting for a win. He hasn't, like I said, obviously he missed round 3, but a third and a second, and I think a first place would go nicely for Elite Risk. Of course, if Elite Risk, as you saw in the stats earlier, if Elite Risk does get a podium, he'll be the first driver in 7GR history to achieve 40 podiums. There you go, one more lap then, which means we will probably get 5 racing laps at the end. But this is This is the guys you got to watch out for at the back here. Okay, Gorniak, Geordie, and Jake all on these fresh, soft tyres. See how far. No, we're going to get 4 laps racing, aren't we? So 4 laps of racing, 2 with DRS. Oh, I tell you what, this is working out very nice for Benzer, isn't it? On those tyres. Fusion Gamer thinks Elite Risk is the favourite, and I think I join you in that assumption, but it depends. Because on previous games, it doesn't matter if the safety car came out, the tyres were just the tyre life, whereas now I think that you do generally save a bit of tyre life when the safety car comes out. So, safety car number 5 is in. He's earned his money for the day. We have 12 runners. We have 4 laps. And Benster is gone. There we go. Pedal to the metal. Oh, Elite Risk with a bit of wiggle there. But it looks like Benson's going to be okay into turn 1. We've got single file. Oh, as I say that, McDermott is going for a move. No, it's Zach going for a move, actually, sorry, on McDermott. And Zach up into P5. Zach, who was looking a bit off it today, suddenly finds himself in P5. Good drive from him this afternoon. Or this evening, I should say. And Rooney in the points. Look at that. Never give up. Okay, Gorniak, the first of those fresh soft runners, is in P9 now. How much extra grip is he going to have in those cars? And as I say that, the curse happens and Arulian gets a track extension penalty. I apologise profusely, as always. Jake at the back, just minding his own business, making sure he doesn't take anyone else out. And I'll tell you what, Elite Risk's win could be at risk here if Ogween goes for it. If Ogween goes for the win, if he tries to pass Elite Risk, there's a good chance he may not get a Benzer. These two need to... Oh! And all out of shape there from Ogween. He was looking very untidy there. And look at what's going on here. We've got cars aplenty. I think it was Arulian who got himself that track extension penalty and is now feeling the tyres more than anyone else, but it looks like. It's Kieran number 2. It looks like his favourite, but okay, going on those softs, goes for a dive. Comes off just about. He's up into P9. These guys fighting for the last 2 points. P9 and P10 as Jake now finds himself in P10. He needs to get a move on in case he gets a penalty. That'll be one for the stewards room, of course. There you go, look, Benzer, he's not struggling really, is he? He's finding those tyres alright so far. Yes, Elite Risk behind him, but I wish I could hear the engine properly to see if Benzer was actually feeling any trouble with these tyres. They don't look like they've drifted. They look in good condition from here. Usually, I mean, people that have raced a track like Baku, when the rear tyres go, you can feel them spinning and the green bar jumps up and down. But it looks like Benson's still got more than enough rear grip, as DRS is now enabled for the final 2 laps of this 35 lap Grand Prix. It is round 4 of 7GR, and we are in for a climax and a half here. We'll stay with the front runners as much as I want to see that battle down the back. It's best to say these guys as Ogween now finds himself. How much is he going to attack front two here? Because I don't think he's going to get those 3 seconds. I mean, he needs to do something because, as I said, that Simba is just behind him. Same as Zach. So if I just go to leader here, if I do, he's going to go down to P7 at the moment, is Ogween. And Benson will be absolutely loving that. It's not over yet though, a lap and a bit to go. We're almost at the end, no more safety cars will be allowed. That we are done. As is that Elite Risk, was he in a bit of trouble there? It feels like Elite Risk is having a harder time on his mediums and Benson is on those softs. But this is where Elite Risk does get the DRS. He'll be able to pull himself back in. Will he be able to make a move on the final lap? Probably not close enough at the moment. But at least he'll keep himself out of the grasp of Ogween, who by now has probably resigned to the fact that he won't be getting a podium. But anything can happen in the lap. Down the back then, Geordie has finally got that P9. But he's, look how much, oh, that was Aurelian getting a bit iffy there. Right, back at the front, come on. Spencer is well and truly got this under control, hasn't he? He doesn't need to, oh, is that Elite Risk getting out of control again? What is Elite Risk, what are those mediums like? I mean, I think this is great research for the, great research for the guys in the tiers watching because these soft tires are hanging on. They're sort of hanging on better than those. Look at that, Elite Risk form the second off. So, here we go then. Turn 13. Just one more corner for Benster before he takes his second win of the season. And he will, more than likely, retake the lead in the championship. Here we go, round the final corner, and Benster does indeed take the win. A sublime win for Benster. Elite Risk does join him in P2. Simba then on the podium, Ogween down to P7. Wow. That is, that is crazy. Wow. What an end to this race. Five safety car. So then. Oh yeah, podium first. Benster, a very well-deserved win. A great drive. Great strategy calls as well. Those soft tyres, seemingly the best tyre to be on at the end. Elite Risk really struggling on those mediums. I'm really surprised with that, if I'm being honest. And Simba, his first podium. He's had some good races so far, so good to see him finally on the podium. All right. Okay then. Right. Once it loads, here is the race order for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Benster takes the victory and the fastest lap. So maximum points for Benster tonight then. Elite Risk is P2 and Simba joins them on the podium. Zach is P4 with McDermott P5, Medal P6, Ogween all the way relegated to P7 with that 3-second penalty. Kegonic P8, Kieran 2 is P9 and Geordie the last points player. Jake is P11 and Aurelian P12. And in the DNFers we've got Crickmit, Baby Boy, Punit, Pro Sweedler, Kieran, Dan Lover and Rhino. Wow. That was certainly a race and a half, wasn't it? And I guess, you know, with 5 safety cars, anything could happen. So, guys, I believe that is a wrap. If you've made it this far, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to join us tomorrow and Thursday for Tier 2 and Tier 3. I'm back tomorrow on comms. Tier 3 on Thursday, I believe, is Jake, and it'll be either Benster or Visions. So we start at 8 o'clock, 8:30 on a Wednesday and Thursday. If you can't join us tomorrow or Thursday, please join us again this time next week as we head to the Theatre of Speed Monza. Right. Thank you guys for watching. Much love. We'll see you soon. It's the battle of the late breakers, and a late risk gets it.
Not late break. Bloody Warrior's not going to give us up without a good fight.
Oh dear me. Oh, and look at that. Peg Dorniak and Charlie going at it. And blue on. Side by side to the last corner. Who's going to get the better traction? Race on the better line. It's going to be a drag race to the finishing line. It's the battle of the late breakers, and a late risk gets it.
Not late break. Bloody Warrior's not going to give us up without a good fight.
Oh dear me. Oh, and look at that. Peg Dorniak and Charlie going at it. And blue on. Side by side to the last corner. Who's going to get the better traction? Race on the better line. It's going to be a drag race to the finishing line.